Hey folks, and welcome back to Game Friend. In this review episode, I'll be talking about how a game destroyed my posture, made my eyes bloodshot red, and actually took some skin off my thumb. True story. I'm Craigo, and the game in question is one of those painfully hardcore platformers. You know the sort, the unforgiving precision, gut-wrenching failures, but pure ecstasy when you finally get it right. In order to get this review sorted, for the past day I've essentially no-lifed TetherGeist, a super challenging precision platformer packed with astral projection puzzles, super charming NPCs, important commentary, formidable collectibles, and well, whatever this thing is. If you consider completion time clocks in at around 10 hours and features genuinely tough platforming, the stuff that destroys your hands evidently, I'd recommend not trying to complete this game in one sitting like I did. My body hasn't thanked me for it, but with that said, you should absolutely give TetherGeist a go. The game is out now both on Steam and Nintendo Switch at £13 or $17, and if you like the look of it, you can grab it for yourself. I think the price is reasonable for the amount of rage-inducing platforming in this one. Fair price. So the general gameplay loop for TetherGeist has you astral project from your body to move around obstacles and to complete challenges, traversing 18 increasingly difficult levels, each with their own unique gimmick and puzzling mechanic to progress the story of May, a disabled shaman with a tether limiting the reach of her astral projection powers. I'll comment more on the story in the later stages of the video, but for now, if you've played or even heard of Celeste before, then you pretty much get the gist here. TetherGeist feels like a relative of the mountain climber, similar DNA, but with its own uniquely satisfying way of getting around. The various stages you navigate are littered with wall spikes, moving hazards, and tight gaps that will test your problem-solving coordination, reflexes, and mental fortitude because you're undoubtedly going to die a lot. And I mean a lot. There is absolutely no reason for May to look this smug, considering I just slaughtered a village worth of maize in the fungal forest. There's a decent variety of platforming hazards too, and I felt like the developers did a great job keeping things fresh by introducing new ways to, well, kill you. From the classic bramble and boiling pipes to anti-astral zones and spirit-eating monsters, each challenge feels well crafted and different. The different spiritual abilities, or Isaiah as they're called in TetherGeist, are pretty great and each have a good amount of time to shine. Basic projection allows May to leave her body to pass through and around certain sections of the walls. There's also a speed boost Isaiah to sprint across hazardous ground, and my favorite, the bouncing projection, which you can just aim to open passageways, you can teleport with it and then ping off walls to get around obstacles. It's good stuff. There's a good variety and there's plenty more too, like a destruction boost that blasts you through pipes, a double projection for extended reach, and a mushroom for when you're in the radius of these like floating squibs to propel yourself in a direction from them. When casting, May's body and her astral projection are vulnerable, making speed quite important as May's body slowly hovers downward. Placement of May's body and where she'll end up is key to getting through levels. If you don't have enough space, then she'll die. She'll just float down and die. You don't have a loadout or abilities to flip between. May is essentially powerless until she passes through one of the Isaiah pickups, which means levels tend to be structured with an intended singular route through each one. It feels like the devs supply you with the means to make it, and you simply figure it out and do it that way. There are sections where choosing which order to pass through the Isaiah abilities becomes important, as you cast your abilities in the same order you pick them up, and it does emulate a level of choice, making things feel more interesting in the later stages. Personally, a bit more freedom on how you progress through each section would have been a bit more engaging, but I'm not too sad about it because the level design for the most part is cunning and fantastic. I say the most part though, because I never want to see a pipe again. Oh lord, those pipes. Save the long tubage for the Marios of the world, please. Call it a skill issue if you'd like, but trying to navigate which direction you'd like May to go felt unresponsive and clunky. May would often ignore my press of the D-pad and just go ahead and murder herself. It's the one platforming gimmick in TetherGeist that filled me with more rage than fulfillment in an otherwise wonderful adventure. It is a hard game, a genuinely hard game, So it's a good thing that dying and resaying is instantaneous, as I found TetherGeist a bit more forgiving than its cousin Celeste. The levels are loosely structured like rooms, each with a checkpoint at the end of them. At no point did I feel like I lost a load of progress through the level. The game did a great job of showing me the challenge and then rewarding me with another harder one straight after, making the whole experience feel nice and fluid. I did feel more happy when I completed a level than frustrated when I died for like the 200th time, if you get my meaning. The pros outweigh the cons. In addition to TetherGeist's incredibly Moorish gameplay, the narrative at the heart of this adventure is one that touched me personally. Now, I don't expect it to hook everyone the way it did me, a guy with multiple neurodevelopmental disabilities, but May's quest to fulfill her binding is beautifully handled. May comes from a shaman village where a spiritual quest called the Binding is a societal norm, requiring its people to travel to the Fount of Souls. Villagers can astral project for as long or as far as they'd like, meaning when it's their time to go on this pilgrimage, they can simply fly straight to it. May cannot, which sets up the whole game as she suffers from a tether limiting her spiritual capabilities. If she's to complete her binding, she'll just have to do it differently. I won't get too deep into the story, but I do think that if you have a disability or just feel different from those around you, TetherGeist has the potential to resonate with you. Listening to May and Foyle, another pivotal character that you'll get to know, how they converse with others about their place in the world, how they both manage their disabilities, and specifically May's struggle to convince others that being different is okay, and just because sometimes it hurts or is harder for her, she should still be afforded the same agency as the rest. Important conversations are had in TetherGeist. Silly ones too, like how kids yearn for the mines. They always yearn for the mines. To sum everything up, I believe TetherGeist isn't simply a Celeste clone. It's a stunning 2D platformer with beautiful character portraits, an impactful story, and is coupled with incredibly Moorish puzzles, making this precision platformer a must-play for fans of the genre. GameFriend will be giving TetherGeist an 8 out of 10, and I've got my fingers crossed for potential future DLC later down the line, simply because I want to play more of this astral goodness. What do you think of the game? I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you didn't, then dislike. And of course, subscribe if you're new. For more reviews like this one, be sure to stick with your game friend. Until next time, cheerio!